This podcast is about healthy living, a natural way of life, and triumphing over adversity. Welcome to Zestology, the podcast all about energy, vitality, and motivation. You might be able to hear the sound of the Thames in the background because this podcast is coming to you from central London. It's where I live. I'm walking back to mine at the moment, and I'm walking along the Thames. And there's a kind of a very noisy barge over the other side of the Thames. I don't know if you can hear that. There's also quite a lot of seagulls, even though we're not that near the sea. Yeah, so today's podcast guest is Andy Hnilo. He's been on Zestology before, you might well have heard of him. And he's the former Days of Our Lives actor and model, and he's now a skincare specialist. And he founded Alitura, the skincare company. And so why do we talk about triumphing over adversity? Well, after a dreadful accident, a skincare specialist said to him, "You have the worst facial injury I've ever seen." So Andy heard those words about his own face. And what we put on our skin really does go in. So it's time to look at that with Andy, because he kind of really adopted that as a mantra to help heal himself and heal his face and heal his injuries as well. He has used natural products to help his skin and face recover. And I've become good friends with Andy as well. And he's just a great guy. So there's a bit of skin stuff, but there's plenty of healthy living stuff in here as well. And he gives us some great hacks towards the end as well. It's got a lot to offer. I started by asking Andy, why is it so important? Why is it so important to buy natural stuff on our skin when you walk down the skincare aisle at Boots and none of it is natural?
It's so important because what you put onto your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream within seconds. I mean, when you let that sink in, I mean, it's just as important to your internal organs to be very aware of using clean skincare and hair care and body products as it is to maintaining a good, healthy diet. I mean, your endocrine system can be disrupted, your adrenals, your hormones, the deodorant. You know, if you have that aluminum-based deodorant, that sure, it counteracts perspiration and maybe mitigates, they'll use some fragrance to mitigate the odor. But I just feel like, you're in that specific case of using a toxic deodorant and shutting down your body's natural function, which is sweating and excreting toxins out of your body. I think it's not what we were supposed to do as in mankind. When we disrupt the natural body function, I think that's really scary, and we put ourselves in harm.
One of the things that made me think about it a lot more was the fact that I bought magnesium spray, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty much the best way to get magnesium into your body. You just spray it on your skin, you can put it in your arms or your legs or whatever, and you start to think, yeah, actually, what we put on our skin really does go in.
Right. It's, to think that's another example. Let's see, if, you hear the nicotine patches for people trying to get off of smoking, trying to quit smoking. You also for pregnancy tests, with women who use that as contraception, with like the pads and blocking things like that. It really get there, your skin breathes. It's your largest organ. You really have to treat it like another mouth. And the absorption factor of getting into your bloodstream transdermally is just, it's there. So we need to be very careful of the parabens, the stearates, the harsh alcohol-laced products that just dry us out and force us to keep using more. I mean, the whole preservative-laced products as well. I mean, everything in there. I feel like what separates, certain brands, and the good thing is green beauty. People are becoming more and more aware of good brands, and just, understanding that, yeah, sure, maybe you pay a little bit more for a premium brand or with clean organic ingredients, but the thing is, you're going to be making hopefully less trips to the doctor's office to counteract that and make up for that.
Well, and that is a good point, but sometimes it's quite hard to know, isn't it, with inverted commas green beauty or natural products. you look at the ingredients, and honestly, it's like gobbledygook to me. I can't make head and tail of it. There's loads of Latin names on there, and there's a load of ingredients you think, well, that can't be good. And sometimes it is actually fine. It's just that it's got a technical name on the label.
Right. And that's interesting to me too, because you'll see the home run, quote unquote, dream team ingredients like the sandalwoods, the German chamomiles. Maybe they'll highlight that on the outside of the packaging, but they'll use it, just a speck of it at the bottom of the ingredient deck while they fill it up with glycerin. And oh yeah, I mean that's actually something that got me into really reading ingredient decks back in my early 20s, when I think I was using a Dove night cream and they used coenzyme CoQ10. And I was like, wow, because I knew what that was back then, because I was supplementing with that internally for athletic performance. And I was like, wow, if it's energizing the mitochondria of my body, it's also energizing the mitochondria of my skin cells as well. And it was just the very last ingredient was ubiquinol coenzyme Q10. And I mean, that means they're just having it in there for marketing purposes. Very little, it's right behind the water, the glycerin, cetyl alcohol, sodium lauryl sulfate. Actually, no, that wouldn't be in that. That'd probably be in the cleanser. But the point is, I mean, they load it up with fillers and then just put a speck in there for marketing. I mean, it's just a popular route to go for many brands. But the good thing is there are quite a few good brands out now that are understanding the importance that people are really starting to come forward in droves and look for these above and beyond products that really take pride in filling up their ingredient decks 100% perfectly with ingredients from nature.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because I've become a bit of a geek in this, and probably partly inspired by you. And
nice.
there's more than once when I've actually contacted a company, I've thought, I really want to use this product, but I want to know a bit more about it. So we talked about the magnesium spray, and there's a gel that came out as well. It's the Better You gel. And I was looking at the ingredients, and it said magnesium and one other ingredient, which was hydroxypropyl starch phosphate. So
that sounds like a preservative.
Well,
maybe or emulsifier.
It's a naturally derived starch modified. So what that means is it's somehow genetically modified, which means that it works as a good kind of carrier. So it is naturally derived, and they can say it's naturally derived, but it's not actually natural because it's been modified.
Right. And from what was it, corn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from corn. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Well, I personally would stay away from that. It's tough though. Magnesium, I mean, with the delivery mechanism, I'm not sure how that works and how that would assist with that. What do I use? I think I use an Omica, OMICA, magnesium gel, but I'm not sure what their delivery mechanism is. But usually it comes down to cost with bigger brands, and I that's just something I can't relate to.
Well, I tell you what it is. I've actually just had a look at the email that they sent me. He said, I'm pleased to say that the gelling agent is naturally derived from non-GMO grains sourced from the USA. The starch extracted from these grains is then modified enzymatically so it can create a gel structure in the very high salt content of the magnesium brine.
That actually makes sense. So they're probably trying to gelatinize the magnesium to make it a little bit. It's a consistency issue. So that I get what he's saying, and if they're using non-GMO corn, that's not the worst thing.
I mean, and the product is great. I was just not sure about the modified enzymes. But
if you want to ask them what kind of enzymes they're using to modify that, because it's a consistency thing. It's more of like an emulsifying agent, I believe. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it may not be as bad as
great
as you think, but yeah, no, that's good. I'm so glad that you emailed them. I mean, I wish people were. We get emails from time to time, and it's just it's all about educating and hopefully helping people out and make smarter choices on their products and just in their life overall.
Do you? You get emails as well saying, "Oh, could I ask you about the ingredient that I don't quite understand in this particular product?"
Yeah, no, we definitely do. We with just we even get our most popular one, I would say, is with the colostrum, and that's actually fun to explain because colostrum is mother's milk from the mother to the baby calf.
Yeah.
And what they do is I get mine. It's grass fed from a small town in Wyoming, and they feed all the calves, and then they collect the surplus afterwards, and they dry it out, concentrate it, and that's what I use. But the babies are fed first, and that's probably one of our most popular questions. A lot of people want to know where we source certain things that are very difficult to find, like the acai butter, and we can give them a country of origin and maybe dive in a little bit more on the person that I'm working with there. But it's the sourcing and the explanations is fun for me because it really is what separates the brand.
Yeah, that's cool. And so the colostrum, you don't sell it individually as a product; you sell it as one of the ingredients.
Yes, it's one of the central ingredients in our clay mask and our night cream. And I love colostrum. I'm thinking about putting together a product, maybe a post-workout recovery product that I would use that in combination with a collagen protein, maybe a little gelatin and hyaluronic acid in there as well. But that's down the road. I love it internally as well, but mostly it's best known for our highlighted ingredient in our clay mask and night cream.
I might not have told you, but one of the interesting side effects, I supplemented with colostrum for a while, and one of the interesting side effects that I had was it was the only thing I could work out. My hay fever, my allergy symptoms in springtime almost completely disappeared.
What? Wow.
Yeah. So because it massively boosts your immunity, doesn't it?
It does.
So
I mean, it has everything in there, especially if you get a really good source that's collected within the first 6 hours. You're absorbing all of those good, live, rich enzymes and just nutrients and minerals that the mother produces to feed her babies. And so, we absorb a lot of those as well. And I'm going to have to use that in my clinical data to report to others.
Yeah, you can. Well, the only problem is that I was really excited about this. And I think 2 or 3 years in a row, my hay fever symptoms went from a kind of 9 out of 10 to a 1 out of 10. And the only different thing was colostrum. Oh, and a lower carb diet as well.
Nice.
And then this year, the hay fever came back. so it's not a fail safe, but I do like the product, and I use the Surthrival one.
Yep, that was the first one that I bought.
Yeah,
ever, and then I switched over.
And I probably met the guys at Surthrival about the same time that I met you. And the last time I saw you was at the Paleo Effects conference earlier this year. You were absolutely swamped by, the whole weekend. I was quite impressed, actually, because I know we wanted to record a podcast in person. You were like, mate, I'm selling so many products. I'm chatting to so many people. I just need to go home and kind of turn the lights out in the room. Is it quite tiring when you do those kind of conferences?
And this is, I will never complain. We take a lot of pride in setting up early and being the last ones to leave. I take that quote unquote athlete mentality of first ones there, last ones to leave. Tony, I love those conferences. It's a chance not only to meet new people and share your story and sample your products, but many customers have been with me, have been going to the Paleo Effects since I first started Alitura in 2014. And, just share them coming up and sharing sweet stories of their favorite products, and also remembering when I didn't have a banner and I was, swiping my credit card or swiping the credit cards myself, and just one person in the booth, right? And to see how the brand has grown since then. Just people coming up and saying very sweet things, and then also getting a chance to, I just don't want to leave the booth. I absolutely love every part of the energy of those conferences is palpable. I mean, it's just everybody there is seeking to become a better version of themselves. And then also I have something that it's kind of like a tournament, like a baseball in those baseball days. It's an excitement, and I don't leave the booth. I mean, if I have to go to the bathroom, I try to hold it for as long as I can. I mean, it's so much fun for me just to be in that situation of sharing a piece of me to others. And yeah, you're right. That was crazy. It takes about a week of decompression just internal, physical. You're on your feet, but just the full on energy that you're on from 6 to 6. I mean, it shuts down, especially Sunday too on the breakdown. But then if it's a successful conference, there's no better feeling.
Yeah. I always think if I started one of those conferences, I'd call it a festival, not a conference, because it kind of is, isn't it? It's not really like conference makes it sound like kind of men in suits, but actually it's pretty. Everyone's having a laugh, and there's parties in the evening, and there's loads going on, and it's just good fun.
Hey, that's a good point. You may want to be the first, because I think everybody's calling it conferences. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's a festival, and people are eating and just, the energy is incredible. And like you said, there's always fun stuff at night. Dry Farm Wines always has a kick-ass party on Sunday. It's so much fun. I can't wait to go back. We're doing it again in 2019. And I can't wait. Austin is a fun city, as you know. So
it's really good.
Always have a good time.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I always come home laden with Alitura products, which has left me slightly lighter in the wallet, but but it's all good. Now, how much do you focus in terms of your own skin? Because obviously we spoke before about your accident, and the skincare specialist said that you'd had the worst facial injury that they'd ever seen. And you embarked on this whole regime which inspired your company now. But one thing that I haven't asked you before is, how much do you focus on gut health in terms of your skin?
That I seriously think that's one of the biggest culprits is lack of proper digestion and lack of being able to really absorb the good nutrients and minerals that you're consuming. Now, I love fermented vegetables, kimchi, beet krauts in general. Just that's my big go-to. I am not a big fan of probiotics yet. I think I used to take one earlier on because of the antibiotics, and my digestive system was just rocked because of those antibiotics. But to get proper digestion through fermented foods, and then every now and then I'll take some digestive enzymes. Things like bromelain, berberine, HCl, Wob enzymes. But I love to make sure that everything that I'm consuming is also being digested and absorbed in the best way possible. So that's huge. And then getting the system flowing properly, getting your digestive system flowing properly, and then getting the waste out of your system is vital for clear skin, puffiness, inflammation. It all results, and your skin's going to tell you if you have that inflammation, if something is consumed that is kind of an irritant to that digestion or to that body. So that's a great point, Tony. I mean, we're actually thinking about doing an inner beauty supplement, but it's going to be like a powdered. So we're in the beginning stages of that to really help repair that gut and maintain that good active gut biome and digestion.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's kind of quite interesting. I've been doing this. I've been reading Marie Kondo's book, which is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a global bestseller, and the whole thing is you massively tidy out, spring clean your place, and then other benefits come from having a tidier, cleaner, more minimalist environment, which is quite nice. And I've started today, and I've actually spent 4 hours doing it today. And I started with my clothes, and then I did my bookshelves. I have to say, I had far too much fun doing it. It was really quite good. But one of the things that I haven't done yet, which I need to do, is my supplement shelf, because there's a lot on there. I mean, I don't really take a minimalist approach to supplements, and maybe I should a little bit more. What about you? Do you? Because you mentioned a couple of supplements there. Do you take quite a few, or?
Tony, I just took 25 pills before we hopped on this call. I mean, I'm just like you. I don't know. I mean, because the alpha lipoic acid, the amino acids, creatine, CoQ10, krill oil, turmeric, vitamin K2, astaxanthin, WOB enzymes, magnesium. I mean, these are things that are important and I believe vital for optimal cognitive function and overall physical performance throughout the day. I have to be on, it's just, and I love to be on. I love to be 100%. It's every now and then, maybe I'll take a couple days off just to help, cleanse the system. They say Monday through Friday, and then maybe Saturday, Sunday take off. But it's tough when you're preparing for something vital every day where you have to just be on. There are many people that believe that you can get it through food. I feel like supplementation is very important to fill out our personal needs and requirements to perform at a high level. And I feel great. I need to get more blood work done. I go about once a year to get my testing done and make sure all my internal organs are functioning properly. But, I source well. I use a lot of Doctor's Best, Life Extension, Bulletproof products, Omega, Garden of Life. Those are some of my favorite, and then Natural Stacks too. Excuse me. So yeah,
That's
those
good.
are. It's all about the sourcing, transparent labels, and yeah.
I like. I've got really into Seeking Health for supplements as well, which is Dr. Ben Lynch's brand, and I actually met him at Paleo Effects, and very high quality, reassuringly expensive, I have to say, but good quality stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not like anything, I don't want to say, but I just know with our products specifically, our manufacturers laugh at my costs for my products. Well, they don't like laugh, but I mean they run it by me and make sure that I know exactly when I first start, towing the line and throwing around ideas and spitballing ideas for certain products and ingredients. They make every single one, and we have different manufacturers based on their what they specialize in all around the world. And so when I'm using things like Manuka honey and pearl powder and first 6 hour milking grass-fed colostrum, I mean, and American ginseng too, that's actually another big one. But you're going to pay you're going to pay more because a lot of us are going the extra mile because I personally do this, and I love this because I found holes in products on the shelves, and there was a space there was a void that was not filled at that time. And the only person that I felt could do that dream product, but it was never an intention to have a product. I was just trying to heal myself, was by doing my research and then isolating those ingredients, and then over time and trial and error testing and combining them and then finding what worked. But there was always some type of hole. And the only way you can do it is by doing it yourself, or finding someone that has that same level of ingredient integrity as you do.
Oh well, I love it. I do.
No, I thank you. I appreciate that.
For a few years, I've been an Alitura man.
That means a lot. That I never. Yeah, it's just I'm living a dream, and I just we have to keep things as our core values as a company extremely are extremely important to us.
Do you want to stay at a certain size? Do you not want to get too big, or what's the kind of ultimate dream? Is it to get bought out by L'Oreal or something?
Well, I would say right now we're just really focusing on becoming a large independent brand. It's so fun for me to not have that big corporate overhead, to where I can really create these. Tony, these products are. It's not just, kind of putting them out just to put them out and trusting that our customers will like them based on that trust and in the brand. It's really, it takes a lot of time.
Does it?
And yeah. The formulation.
You make them in Hawaii, don't you?
Well, so our body lotion, night cream, moisturizer, gold serum are all made in Hawaii. Our cleanser is made in Los Angeles. Our supplement, Los Angeles clay mask, is now in Nevada. And let's see here, our Santal Black, our organic oil blend, is made in St. Helens, Oregon. So, I mean, usually you would just have a, one shop stop for manufacturers, but that's just not how I go specifically to certain reputable formulators. And so with my oil blend for Santal Black, there was, Emily came highly recommended to me as far as just being almost just a perfumist, but with essential oils, and really having that same. You have to be aligned with ingredients, and you have to trust your manufacturers to a point where it actually was very difficult in the beginning, especially with my baby, the clay mask. There were people that would cut corners on sourcing, and all my sourcing is non-negotiable. I mean, it's absolutely non-negotiable, and that has to be understood. But then again, when you can find an ingredient for a tenth of the cost, and it's kind of similar, they may try to, pull the wool over your eyes a little bit. And so you have to be very aware of that. And that's just the nature of the business. But I found people that I can trust, small family in Haleiwa, Hawaii, that just, they're beautiful people. And they've been with me on this ride since 2014. And they're, they've helped me out. And there's a big personal attachment with them, as with everything that I've done with the business. It's very personal to me. It's not just, running a company. It's a very big part of my life, and I need them to know that. I need to meet with them face to face, and I need them to see this passion and how specific I am. And once they see that face to face, it can't be conveyed through an email or a phone call. I love meeting them, and I love showing them, and I love telling them the story behind the brand and the products. And once they see that fire, they know. I mean, I believe it's got to generate a level of respect to where they know I'll pay whatever, and I just want to create a product that purely stands out, and that I can share as a piece of me to the people that trust me.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Well, I've got a few minutes left, so I've got a few more skin-related queries for you.
Sure.
I noticed that before we started recording, you posted on Facebook. You said about to go live with the legendary Tony Wrighton on the Zestology podcast, which, legendary might be pushing it a bit, but I'll take it, Andy. It's very kind of you to say so. And it looked like you have a Juve light on in the background, an infrared light. Is that, I presume it's quite early in the morning with you, and that's why you had it on. Do you think that's good for skin as well, the infrared light?
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, there are, photobiomodulation in red light therapy has been used for years as far as repairing and cleansing internal organs. It's very good for collagen synthesis. You're seeing many treatments now in the back bar area of esthetician, private practitioners, med spas are using red light therapy in their treatment. So what I love to do is I'll do 15 minutes in the Juve, in front of the Juve, and then I'll do my derma roller to open up the dermal layer of the skin, and then I'll apply the clay mask, let that dry for another 15 minutes in front of the Juve, rinse it off, and then another 15 minutes after. Now, I'll put on my gold serum, which has copper tripeptide, a little astaxanthin, plant-derived vitamin A, and marine collagen. And so, but the copper tripeptide reacts with the red light and really stimulates that collagen synthesis. And it's a noticeable difference, which is starting to become a very popular treatment. Truth in Aging had there are several clinical trials out there that have proved that, as far as minimizing fine lines and wrinkles, it's an amazing protocol.
I don't think I've ever done such an involved protocol ever on my skin as what you just described. I think I just put the moisturizer on.
There you go. Yeah, well, it's just one of those things that once you try it, Tony, I am dead serious. I thought about just opening up a small shop on Tahunga Avenue out here, in Los Angeles, and just doing one thing. Just calling it the Alitura Signature Facial, and just having that like whatever it would be, maybe an hour treatment.
Yeah.
But just in that Juve red light, derma roller, clay mask, gold serum, send them on their way. Minimal downtime, just a little bit of a stimulated complexion, but the results last for days, and you stay on top of that. You do it a few times, a couple times a week, or even once a week. It's something that I know what I'm getting every single time with it.
Wow. Okay. Do you know what? I'm a modern man. I'm open-minded, Andy. I'm going to give it a go.
There you go. There you go.
What about shower filters? Do you use shower filters to filter
do.
out the chlorine?
Absolutely. So I use Aquasana. I believe Omika has a good one too. I haven't tried theirs. I switch mine out every 3 months. Aquasana is the brand I use, Aquasana, I believe it is. And I just switch out the filter. I think it's around $30, so $10 a month, and you're ridding yourself of all those heavy metals, chlorine, and just the nasties that are in our tap water that we absorb every day. I mean, you're showering, let's say once a day, and if you're just spending 10 minutes or more in there, can you imagine just absorbing all of those heavy metals, that chlorine, into your largest organ?
Well, the chlorine, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with hair loss. I think it has to do with brain fog. I just believe I've definitely noticed just a clarity, not only in my complexion, but my hair is thicker. That's for sure.
Really? You reckon hair loss, the chlorine in tap water is a component?
That's my opinion. But I would definitely say that I've experienced that my hair is noticeably thicker, more full than it has been since I've adjusted to that. And that's the truth. I have no affiliation with any shower filter company. I feel better, and I also feel better that it's clearing out. I mean, they have that full, thick 6-inch layer of filtered through. I believe it's a carbon or a charcoal filter. So it's a very nice system to where I believe they claim they get about 99% of the heavy metals removed or chlorine. And that's very important to me. That's
really handy, because I needed a good one of them. So thank you for that. It's good advice. And you do have a magnificent head of hair. So, it's obviously something's working.
Hey, likewise.
Yeah, I know. It's my pride and joy, Andy.
It is. Yeah, I see that profile picture, man.
Now, before you go, something I've asked everyone, and I've asked you before, but I'm going to ask you again. What is one book you'd recommend and one tip for living with more energy? So one book, one tip. What are you going to go for? It doesn't have to be the same as last time. I can't even remember what you said last time, but it can be anything that you've read recently, something that you enjoy, or something that's been a historical inspiration to you.
Ooh. Okay, so the first tip I would say would be to really analyze your strengths and find out what it is that you love. And if you're unhappy in your life and you have something that has been staring you in the face, for me it was nutrition and wellness and skincare. That's been staring me in the face since I was 19 years old, when I was writing up diet plans for people in college. But yet I was struggling to find out what I was going to do for a living and what my purpose was. I mean, I really feel like people should pay attention to those gifts. I believe we all have gifts inside of us, and we've been blessed with certain talents and things that can really help others as well and help inspire others, whether it's a piece of artwork and just with the gift of the use of your hands and being able to create a beautiful painting that can really like bring somebody to tears. I mean, that happens time and time again. I've seen it in friends of mine and people I don't even know. And so I would really, my tip would just be, because my goal is for as many people as possible that can find their purpose and their passion and really live towards what they love to do. And incorporating that in their lives daily, it'll improve the world, just overall energy and just being satisfied. And I breathe differently now that I have something that I'm so passionate about. So there's my tip. And then as far, you know what I mean? Like I just really hope people can take time to explore their talents and what they love. And it's not about, who knows, maybe make a living off of it, but man, it's sure fun when you have that. And so that would be my tip. And then as far as a book, there's so many. The most practical book right now that really inspired me to get into this industry was The Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson.
Oh yeah.
In 2008, I read that book, and it really, in comprehensive terms, just allowed me to make a significant change in my life. And how I went about my workouts, how I went about eating, and just, it's that book breaks down the science of how we're supposed to eat and how many of us are supposed to eat. And obviously there are certain allergens and things to be aware of, but the Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson is really what spurred me into this direction of health and wellness. And ever since 2008, I've been constantly seeking more and more and more every year, and just voraciously reading and researching things like supplements and foods and antioxidants and superfoods and things that are going to help me live a happier and healthier life. So there it is. Yeah, I would say that.
Good stuff. Andy, it's great to talk again. Real men use clay masks, don't they?
They do. And, whether it's, just making yourself more marketable for a job, making, if you have a presentation coming up, and just, reducing some of that puffiness and clarity and congestion around the nasal area, and just becoming more confident into your personal and professional life. I swear by that. I mean, I do it 4 or 5 times a week before I prepare for something. It just releases a lot, creates a lot of blood flow and circulation to my face, which is, your own biggest business card. I mean, that's the first thing people see, and you want to exude health, and you want to radiate that health and show that to others. So
what was it? What was it? It was the clay mask first. No, sorry, the derma roller first, then the serum, then the Juve, and then the clay mask. No.
So I do derma roller, apply the clay mask because the skin's been opened up, and then I'll get in front of the Juve for about 15 minutes. Once it's dried, I rinse it off, and then do a cold rinse to close the pores. Then I apply my gold serum, and then I'll sit in front of the Juve light for another 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, you just feel the warmth. And I want to offer you and your whole following a 20% discount off the entire store. So just you want to call that Zestology?
Yeah, great.
And but yeah, that protocol. And if anybody has any questions, I mean, all of the customer support inquiries feedback to myself and my team, and I oversee all of those, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, that protocol right there. I mean, who knows? I may open that retail location.
I want to go. You need one in London as well. Andy, it's so good to talk to you. As always, have a good one.
Hey, likewise. You as well, my brother.
Okay, thank you to Andy, and thank you for listening to Zestology. Remember, the 3 Zesty Things newsletter goes out every Monday morning, and you can head to my newly revamped website, TonyWrighton.com. It's TonyWrighton.com, and you can sign up there. It's just 3 different things to energise you throughout your week that I send out every Monday morning, and there's quite often discount codes and coupons and free stuff in there as well. I think this week there was a free stuff of some kind of discount code to do with the website where you can log in and take live classes and meditations. So if that's the kind of thing that you are interested in, head to TonyWrighton.com. It's TonyWrighton.com and sign up for that. And and then I'll email you on a Monday morning. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.